Today we're gonna make 3 versions of biryani from 3 of YouTube's most popular chefs. Each one of these cooks has their own thing going on, their own vibe. We all love them for different reasons. But today, in typical fashion, we are going to mainline ice right into our veins. Freeze. Push that affection aside and pit these guys against each other to see who makes the best biryani on YouTube. You guys already know the drill. We're gonna make all of these recipes to the T before tasting them and crowning YouTube's biryani baron. And stick around till the end of the video because we are going to take all of our biryanis and fuse them together to create the ultimate YouTube Franken-biryani. Vamonos. Mush. Let us begin. Okay, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's gonna be a doozy. Oh! Before we get going, we all know that good cooking takes time and patience. So to make our biryani right and throw respect on both the creator and the recipe, I actually got going on this yesterday. Anyways, yeah, just wanted to put that out into the universe, so let's get going. You can't really be on YouTube without seeing one of Nick DiGiovanni's videos, right? The dude's all over the place, and for good reason. I mean, his resume is incredible. He went to Harvard, he's got a best-selling cookbook, he has a massive YouTube channel, not just a YouTube channel, but TikTok. The dude makes a ton of videos, and he seems to be everywhere, so kudos to you if you're watching Nick, which I know you're not, but yo, shout out. Now, Nick's biryani video is interesting. Not only does he have a super fresh fit, but he claims that his recipe was actually vetted by one of India's top chefs. But is his biryani tasty? Before we get going here, I want to explain what's going into Nick's biryani and sort of what we did and what we have going on. First thing, we have this beautiful basmati rice. Biryani is not biryani without basmati. Say that 50 times fast. Or just 50 times in general. Not just any basmati, but aged basmati. By aging the rice, you dry it out more, making it less gummy. It also intensifies those sort of like nutty aromas that come naturally from basmati. Then we have these fried onions here. I mentioned I did things yesterday to get ahead of it. I fried, I think 15 or 20 onions on my crappy like home range back there. It probably took me, I'm not even BSing, like 3.5 hours. I didn't open a window because it was cold and my entire apartment smells. I'm going out of town tomorrow. I left my suitcase open and now it smells like onions. Depending on who you ask, good thing it's a bad thing. I don't know, comment below. These are yellow onions and we basically just fried them up until they went nice and crispy. Popped them on a tray lined with some nice paper towel to make sure it catches all that grease. Seasoned with a pinch of salt just because that's what you do with fried stuff. And boom, fried onions. And this right here is just some of that reserved onion oil, which we're gonna use later. This milk is for this stuff here, saffron, right? A delicious ingredient that really does help to make anything you add it to special, right? Paella, this, other stuff, desserts. It's very delicious and very expensive. And if you can't find it, you can sub it out for something called safflower. I'll leave a link for you below. It's a great sub, just a little cheaper, less pungent. These are Nick's spices for his rice here, right? We have to cook our basmati and we're gonna add flavor every part of the way. So we got some green cardamom, black cardamom, cinnamon, clove, star anise, and this here Indian bay leaf. Then, of course, we have this. This is our Nick's biryani spices. Now, there's a lot of different spices that go into this. I'll leave his recipe video for you to go watch below if you wanted to make it at home. But essentially, all you're gonna do is toss it into a dry pan, right? Toast it up a little bit over low, medium heat until it's nice and aromatic and starts to brown a bit. And then he pops his into a mortar and pestle. I ain't gonna do that. No. We're gonna pop things directly into my spice grinder because I have one and I intend to use it. It just makes things a lot easier, very quick. I blitzed it up and now we have this beautiful, hyper smelly, delicious biryani spice, right? Or that's what Nick's calling it. Moving on to the chicken. Nick calls for skin-on chicken drumsticks and thighs. We basically just threw together a very basic sort of like Indian style marinade here with a bunch of different spices, yogurt. We have some chilies in there. We're basically just gonna mix all that up around with some garlic and some ginger and it's gonna all come together into this beautiful sort of like orangey looking marinade here. And we're gonna let this go overnight in the fridge, which is why, of course, I did it yesterday. Just look at this, man. The yogurt is spiced. You can see some of that chicken juice kind of like leaking out there. That's not a bad thing. That's gonna turn into sort of a gravy, right, for our biryani. And lastly, this is called a handi. It's a traditional clay Indian pot, right? Pakistani, call it desi pot, right? Kind of hard for me to hunt down. In Nick's video, he used a hammer copper or hammered metal handi, but instead I found this and it's actually a little more traditional. So we're gonna try to use it and hopefully it doesn't explode on us, but we'll see. I actually went ahead and seasoned this yesterday. It's actually a multi-day process and I only had one day, so pray for us. If this survives, I'll give it away in my Discord, so head on over to the Discord over there and come introduce yourself. Most of the heavy lifting's already done, so let's get going on the rice. For Nick's rice, I just went ahead and soaked it until it ran clear, just like you would any other rice. Remember, if you don't soak your rice, it's gonna go gloopy and starchy. So rinse your rice. I think I did it about 3 or 4 times to get it clear, right? Then you're gonna wanna fill it up and soak it for about 30 minutes according to Nick's instructions. So that's exactly what I did here. This is soaked and washed. I just drained it. Now we're just gonna cook it. That's what we're gonna do. All right, so in with the spices and a pinch of salt, just like pasta. I actually call this the pasta cooking technique with rice because you're basically cooking it like pasta for ultimate control. And in with all of our basmati. And now we're just gonna simmer this for 5 to 7 minutes until it's about 75% cooked and basically al dente. Now we can pick out all the spices according to Nick. All right, the moment of truth. Clay handi on. We're gonna go like low, medium heat. Kind of bring it up slowly. All right, we're gonna pop a little touch of ghee right in our pot. All right, we got Nick's marinade here. Chili's open. We got our drums, we got our thighs. All right, now we're gonna pop our chicken in our hot ghee. Oh, it's sizzling oh so slightly. We need a little more heat in there. Skin side down, of course. And can't forget all that juicy, juicy orange yogurt marinade. It's gonna create basically like a sauce at the bottom. And now we're just gonna let this cook for 30 to 40 minutes before we add our rice and get it in the oven. Look at that, all that liquid, that chicken juice and the yogurt, just kind of making that gravy, that sauce. It's gonna thicken up as it cooks and as the rice kind of takes to it, or as the rice absorbs it rather. Chicken par cooked, looking good, looking good. I think we're ready to move to the next step here. Before we get building with Nick, we just gotta mix a little pinch of saffron. I was always told the amount of saffron you add to a recipe directly correlates with how much you love your guest. In this case, I'm cooking for myself today, so we're gonna skimp. No, 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 no. Be careful with saffron, man. It will stain your life. Time to build Nicky's biryani. All right, so we got our chicken in there. We're gonna layer in fried onions right on top. Look how like jammy and delicious that looks here in this pot. Incredible. We're gonna do a little bit of cilantro. Layer in the mint as well. Now we're gonna hit it with our rice and make sure that we optimally cover the entire thing. As Nick mentions, be sure to get the corners, don't skip them. Now my rice isn't gonna come to the tippy like his because my pot's much larger than his. Got this clay boy, not the metal guy. So we're just gonna go ahead and, oh my God, this thing's making some crazy noise. Now I'm gonna take our, look at, I just can't get over it. Look at this beautiful color right here. It looks like mango lassi. It's thick and creamy and I love it. So we're just gonna rope that around our rice, make a little design. You can go ahead and use all this if you want. It will layer in the rice nicely. Then we're gonna do a little more onion action. A little more mint and cilantro. We're gonna sneak on some of that onion oil. Ooh, that's flavor right there. And then just a pinch of Nick's biryani seasoning on top. That's a cool little move. I've never seen anybody do that with biryani. Nick does something pretty cool to seal the biryani. It's the dumb approach. As an English speaker, I can't help but to chuckle. But really it's just using dough to seal your pot, right? Lots of cultures have ways of doing this. All right. I went ahead and made a simple straight dough, which is literally just flour and water. No salt, no yeast, nothing. Straight up. It does not need to be edible. It's strictly for basically steaming our rice and our biryani. Pretty wet dough here. Might have to flour it up. Give it a little roll out, why not? Don't have to roll it out too crazy. Now we just lay our dum on top. Give it a nice pinchy poo here. Make sure it really stays on. It's nice using the clay here because the dough really does adhere well to the clay. Now we're just gonna brush the top with ghee oh so gently. Pop this in the oven and let it warm through. All the flavors are gonna melt together. The rice is gonna fully hydrate. Chicken's gonna fully cook. It's gonna be a good time. Andy Cooks, aka Andy Herndon, is the real deal. This dude is a professional chef with 20 years plus of professional kitchen experience. The dude is actually from New Zealand, though I believe he's based in Australia. Fact check me on that. He's worked in Michelin restaurants in everywhere from London to across Sydney and Melbourne. I said that right, Melbourne, not Melbourne, Melbourne. Get a gold star. His whole brand is approachable. It's high quality home cooking from a restaurant professional teaching you how to do it at the crib, right? Nothing crazy, but he does it really well. He's probably best known for his "Hey babe, what do you want for dinner" videos.
Hey babe, what do you want for dinner?
He's got a cookbook, he's got a killer YouTube channel, of course. He actually won Australia's Top Creator Award, which is pretty incredible. And basically, he's a serious chef, right? We know this guy, we love this guy, we featured him on the channel. Let's see how he makes biryani, and is it any good? As mentioned, Andy's biryani is pretty classic, right? Couple of different things here. The onions, same thing, right? Fried onions, and a lot of them. But these are red onions, right? Which also should really be called purple onions. But yeah, a little bit of salt, same exact technique. This is the same rice as Nick, pretty much. This is just a fine aged basmati. These are the spices that are going into Andy's rice here. We have some cumin seeds, some cloves, some green cardamom, and cinnamon. This, I just went ahead and took our saffron and already infused it with the milk just to make sure that it really kind of infused and gets time to sit with that milk and basically turn into a tea. And this is Andy's chicken here. Now, I had to do this ahead. And before we move on, I have to call myself out here. Andy specifically mentioned in his video that he wants bone-in, skinless chicken thighs.
Probably worthwhile getting something on the bone.
I did about half of that ask. I went and I got the skinless, rather, chicken thighs. Bone out, they're boned. These don't have bones in them. And I'm sad because I literally took a lot of time and effort to kind of plan through all of this and ensure that I have everything to the T, ship shape like usual. The good news is that this has been sitting in this pot here. I took it out of the fridge, you saw, for 24 hours in all this marinade. The yogurt has a little bit of lactic acid in it, and what that does is it sort of tenderizes the meat without making it mushy, and it's also gonna retain a lot of that moisture. And a big reason why you cook with bone-in meat is for that moisture, that flavor retention, to make sure things don't get overcooked. I really don't think that's gonna happen here. These are fatty chicken thighs. I think we're pretty foolproof. Then again, your boy is quite the fool, so we'll see. So this is very simple. First, we gotta make some rice. Into a pot of boiling agua, we're gonna add in all of Andy's spices here. Nice big pinch of salt. We're doing the pasta cooking method again, right? And one whole green chili. So look at our water looking nice and tinted. Again, we're making pretty much like a tea here, right? Kind of what this is. Just make sure your water is seasoned and spiced, and we're layering those flavors every step of the way. Now we're gonna go in with our rice. This rice has been rinsed 3 times until the water ran clear. Those are exact Andy specifications. Then I soaked it for about 40 minutes. We're gonna cook this again to al dente, about 75% of the way done. We do not want to overcook this. Andy said it a million times in his video, and he ain't wrong. Mushy basmati does not make good biryani. Now we're gonna take our chicken, cold from the fridge, pop it on medium high, and we're just gonna get this going. We're gonna start this over high heat. We're gonna do this for about 5 to 10 minutes, really until the chicken just starts to kind of start cooking. Now I'm going to remove half of our chicken thighs here, set them aside on a plate, and we can start building our biryani. All right, let's build this thing. We got half our chicken and our sauce in there. I'm gonna go ahead and stack on the basmati. Totally fine if you get the whole chili in there. The spices, cinnamon stick, all gravy, literally. Next, we'll hit it with our fried onions, our crispy red onions. A little pinch of cilantro, or coriander as everyone else calls it, and some mint. And now we rinse and repeat. I'm gonna take our chicken, we're gonna pop it in there for that nice layer. Get all that sauce. It's gonna be more rice. Honestly, how about this? There you go. Rinse and repeat with the crispy onions, mint, cilantro, and look how gorgeous that color is with the saffron when you let it sit. So, no layering with this. This is going to go straight over the top, baby. You get a little spiral vibe. Now we go lid on. Now Andy does something cool and uses some dough to seal his biryani. Made this a couple hours ago. It's literally just flour and water, no salt, no nothing, no yeast. It's literally just for sealing the rim of our pot. Oh, we're just gonna cowabunga it on. Should just kind of press and adhere onto the pot. There's no really like exact recipe for this, guys. It's just kind of like you just got to go for a feel and a texture. You don't want it too wet or else you're not gonna be able to work with it. It's just gonna slop off, but you don't want it too dry or it's not gonna stick to your pot pan. Kind of interesting, Andy pops this on the stove top and lets it cook on that. Usually when I see this, I feel like people put it in like an oven or something just to make sure that the crust kind of solidifies, but you know, in theory, it should steam and do the same thing. So on the hob with this, we're gonna go 10 minutes at high heat, let it rip, get it going, right? Jump start it up. Then we're gonna lower to a simmer and cook that for a remaining 30 to 40 minutes. I'm stoked to announce a brand new feature of a brand new channel in this video series by way of Fallow. It's not a single creator, but a critically acclaimed London restaurant run by chefs Jack Croft and Will Murray, both trained under Heston Blumenthal of the Fat Duck fame. Now, Fallow pulls back the curtain on a real professional kitchen, focusing on, again, real technique and nose-to-tail cooking. These two are the chefs of the group, right? They got famous for their first-person unedited videos of service on a busy line, right? Maybe you've seen those floating around the internet. Very fun to watch. Also a little PTSD-inducing. The Fallow fellas are clearly all about the craft. But does that mean they make a decent biryani? That's TBD. So Fallow is interesting because it's quite different. The first difference here is this rice, golden sella. It's a type of basmati, kind of like parboiled rice. Not only is it like golden hued in color, but golden sella is produced by a process of soaking, pressure steaming, and drying prior to milling. The starch in parboiled rice become gelatinized, making it harder and glassier than other rice. The cooked rice is firmer and less sticky. So he mentioned he actually got it from a Caribbean supplier, but this is an Indian rice. It's from India, it says right here. I managed to find it in the ocean of other basmati rices over at one of my Indian grocery stores, so cheers to that. It definitely has that parboiled look to it. Again, it's like glassier. It's toasted, I believe, which gives it that brown color too, which is nice. Moving down the line, we have just our, our fried onions. We went over them, stunk up the crib, totally worth it. Might have to keep these on deck from now on. Saffron, same thing. Then we move down here to our whole milk, which we will then infuse with our saffron, and our spices, which we're gonna use in a second. But the star is actually this curry here. This is a beef curry. Okay, I'm calling it that, and I know that's not an actual Indian word because that's what they call it in their video. And like I mentioned, these Fallow guys, they're from the UK. Now there's a whole history of Indian cuisine in the UK. That's a very, very complicated and detailed story. I actually have a whole video on the history of curry if you guys want to nerd out over there about that, but we're not gonna get into that today. All we need to know is this is, yes, a beef, kind of like dark, rich, very delicious, mind you, might I add, curry. And beef, yeah, you might be asking yourself, how is that even Indian at all? Well, I guess beef is actually sometimes used in Pakistani curries in other parts of India that are sort of more Muslim majority. Whereas the Hindu side of India, which is most of it, you'll most likely see, mutton, goat, or chicken. I really like goat biryani personally, but beef, I'm a beefy boy, we all know this. Beef's gonna be good. Only a couple things to do for this one. Now, for this curry, all we did was make a super flavorful curry paste, right? With ginger, with garlic. I'll let you go check out their video and recipe for the exact spices. I'll leave links to that below. A deliciously, very robustly spiced chili paste. Of course, some vegetable oil for some emulsification with some water, then all that garlic and the ginger to make a paste. Very pretty color. In their video, Fallow uses beef trim. Instead of trim, because I'm not running a restaurant with a bunch of trim just laying around the crib, which sometimes I ironically do have. However, I decided to use ossobuco, AKA beef shank, as well as some neck bones, which I actually found at my local grocery store, kind of all chopped up. It really gives the same energy as beef trim, right? From there, we basically took our curry paste, rubbed it on our beef, charred it in the oven until it gets super, super caramelized. I think this is a really cool tip. He mentioned that by putting the beef in the oven first, it almost kind of mimics more of a tandoori effect than just say searing them in the pot itself. Interesting move. Then we're gonna caramelize a whole bunch of onions in a Dutch oven or a heavy bottomed pot. We're gonna slowly cook that out down for about 30 to 45 minutes until they get super dark and caramelized. Then we're gonna take our now finished beef from the oven. It's nice and caramelized, you can see. Reintroduce that into our pot with the onions. It smelled incredible. Then add the remaining half of our reserved curry paste. Stir that around, kind of wake that fresh curry paste up with all that ginger and the spices and the garlic and the beef. Then, this is very British, very Western in general. We're gonna add a bunch of tomato puree. Now, this stuff it's very rich, it's very savory, it has a lot of umami. I personally think it's a really awesome kind of play. But again, remember, this is sort of a called westernized, more UK-atized version of maybe a curry you might find in a curry house in the UK. Then we're just gonna cover that up and braise it for about 2 hours until all of that beef is tender. Once that got all tender, I went ahead and actually just went in there and picked off the meat off the bones off camera. Those bones might kill someone, so I took them out. I'm talking too much. There's only a couple of things to do here. This one, minus the situation, is actually quite simple. We just gotta finish this right quick. With a little bit of kosher salt, cilantro stems and leaves, but a lot of stems. Will insisted on that. And of course, season to taste with a hint or a pinch or whatever of the GP, the God particle, MSG. Will, it's a quick way to my heart, man. Just gonna give that a bit of a mixy-poo. Now, Fallow says we don't have to cook our rice, but we do have to rinse it. This is just so much easier when you're doing a lot of rice. You can see at the bottom how it drips out. We want that to be clear. And if you can't really tell, put something underneath, rinse it out. Looks a lot clearer to me. Clean, golden cella. To finish fallow, medium-low heat. Impeccably clean Dutch oven pan, pot. We're gonna go in with some neutral oil here and all of our spices that are going in here, right? Those are black mustard seed, star anise, some cardamom, cinnamon stick, and 2 Indian bay leaves. We're just gonna lightly toast these for a couple of minutes until they get fragrant. You gotta be careful with the black mustard seeds. If you over toast them, they can go quite bitter. Will said that in his video, and I have experienced it IRL. Also, they like to pop. All right, that's smelling fantastic. It's time to start layering. Right on top of those spices, we're going in with a little bit of curry here. A nice, healthy covering of the bottom, I would say. A little bit of our golden cellar rice. This is layer by layer, folks. Curry, rice. We're gonna hit on some of our saffron milk. Just kind of drizzle that all about. And a nice little bit of fried onion. Then you just rinse and repeat. Again with the curry, all them chunky beef bits. I think I'm using a bit of a bigger Dutch oven than they had, so I'll keep that in mind. Just gonna use the rest of that. Make a nice layer. And we'll hit it with some rice. And of course, the rest of our saffron milk here. It's gonna be generous. Ooh yeah, no threads left behind. Some more onion. Not an ancient technique, but aluminum foil will give us a better seal, and that's gonna steam nice. Now we'll cover that up and pop this in the oven at 320 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour and 40 minutes. Oh, baby. Oh, cool. And it didn't even explode. Wow. All right, let's start by cracking these guys open, seeing what's inside, mixing them up, and then we're gonna dish up and taste these bad boys. There's no majestic way to do this. That is kind of satisfying. Oh my lantern, this dough, it's like half baked. Would you look at that? I think I'm gonna use the dough to open this. Woo! Ow, that's hot. Man, the smell just nails you in the dome. Would you look at that? Look at those layers in there. The beautiful, beautiful saffron tinting everything. Wow, I'm just gonna have to do a little scoop so you see what we got. Beautiful chicken chunk, the separated rice, tinted yellow and orange throughout. Smells divine. All right, let's check fallow out. This double layer here, the lid, the foil. Oh man, look at this. Whoa. Wow, that saucy, saucy curry. That beef just, literally it just trembles in fear and just falls apart before you even really get to touch it. It smells so jammy and rich. Oh my God, look at that color too. Last but certainly not least, we got our big boy in the pot. I'm gonna try to saw off this top here, kind of like Nick did. Might be difficult. It might be, it's a thickums crust. All right, you know what? I'm just gonna go on the inside. Yeah, like that. Oh. Ooh, look at that, man. That's nice, dude. Wow, this clay pot, man, I tell you what, this looks incredible. It's juicing at the bottom. You got a nice sauce down there. That mint, oh, it's great. Steam the rice perfectly. See that chicken, nice and cooked. Look at that, shredded apart like it's nothing. We love that. This looks great, dude. All right, now Andy says kind of stack it in layers like it comes out of the pot. I thought that was kind of an insightful and wise thing. A little bit of gravy to finish. Crispy onions. Some coriander. The time is nigh. We're gonna taste each of these biryanis, talk about them for a second, think about them, and then crown our victor. I'm gonna go Andy first. Very, very classic biryani here. Chicken, you can see a couple of things that I like here. The separated rice, you can see that very nice and easily. When people think about biryani, they generally think, you know, you don't want it gloopy and stuck together. You want to be able to see that separation there. I like how you can kind of see that white mixed in with the saffron. It's not just all one color. Looking on the dry side, but then again, that is biryani. We got onions on there. We're gonna get a little bit of chicken. I think that's quite a balanced bite, if I don't say so myself. All right, so. Oh yeah, chomping on a spice. I think that's cardamom. I think, especially here in America, we're very squeamish when it comes to bones, when it comes to whole spices in our food. It's not expected, and lots of other parts of the world, it's just kind of there, and you work around it. You know, you take it out of your mouth, you put it in your napkin. I don't really mind the spices. I don't mind bones, of course, and fish and this, chicken, anything. But I will say, I do prefer it without. Yeah, all right, moving on. All right, ooh. Fallow, baby, I'm excited for this. The gravy. This is very much so a UK-ified biryani. Now, I can't remember if he has quite good color separation in his version. This thing smells and looks pretty incredible. It's like onion beef jam. That looks divine. Just a whole femur bone in there. I have never had a biryani like that before. Tell you what. Not only because of the beef, but because of that sauciness to it. I kind of mentioned with Andy's, biryani is a drier dish, but that one through and through, especially with that extra gravy pour, it's just moist. And that sella, that golden sella rice, it is a different eating experience. You can even see it right here, right? I mean, like, look at the difference in this. Our parboiled rice looks different, and it looks like it's brown rice, but it's not. I much prefer like a regular rice, but this, I might prefer this kind of rice for this dish. I don't know. I'm freaking out. I'm losing it. Last but not least, Nick's, the middle, from our beautiful little pot here. Now Nick, I had to do it too. He just went ahead and used the dough part as his plate. And come on, is that not a fun idea? Unfortunately, you only get one per, but you know what? I'm the only guy here, sweating over 3 massive pots of biryani at 5:24 in the evening. He has a raita, which we'll talk about in a second, but I'm gonna go for like a nice bite there. That's steamy, that's chickeny. Minty, Look at this chicken in here. His is on the bone, skin on. And if you're gonna pull that off, it needs to be super tender, so let's see. Wow. I would consider that super tender. That fell apart before I even laid a tooth on it. Wow, look at that, it just wants to come right off. I'm pretty sure Nick's the only one that provided a raita recipe with his biryani here. What is that? It's sort of this like cooling yogurt condiment, salty, spicy, herby. Again, with a drier dish like biryani, traditional biryani, it's really necessary. It's acidic, it wakes the whole thing up, and it adds depth and dimension to an already quite deep dish. Ooh, I love that spice too. This is gonna be tough, but I think I know what we have to do. We gotta rank these guys. Hardest and most annoying part of the day, we need to rank these things first, second, and third. bronze, silver, gold. In third place, the bronze, still a podium winner by default, but again, with these great biryanis on the board, respectable. I say that every single time, but I'm not kidding. In third place, it's gonna have to be Andy. Okay. Did I forget to put bones in the thighs? Yes. Do I think that matters for what I'm about to say? Not really. It just wasn't really like wet enough, I don't think, and not enough kind of the juice from the chicken kind of leached out into the biryani, giving it sort of a more saucy bottom, therefore mixing it and kind of getting it all mixed throughout. To get nitpicky, the whole spices in here, I'm not really the biggest fan of, right? I prefer to like take those out, but it's so close. I mean, these are so similar. This is a great representation of a classic biryani. Between the two Commonwealthers here, one of them kind of kept it real true to the fact, one of them got a little creative. And today on the board right now, deliciousness-wise, I like this the third most. Next up, in second place, the silver. I think you already know who's taking it today. It's gonna have to be Nick in second with the silver in our awesome little pot. Okay. This was a lot of fun. A crucial step in Nick's biryani that he did was he cooked the chicken slightly before adding the rest of the stuff. And we really got to get caramelization and browning on that chicken. I don't know if it's because of the clay pot, giving it some better color, but the sauce on the bottom was kind of able to pool up a little bit, but not too much, and really infuse with the whole biryani. We got our individual kernels. We have our beautiful separation between the white and the saffron-infused rice. Single layer too. I usually like more than one layer, but it worked out really well. Sorry, this is really addicting. So, in second place, Nick DiGiovanni. Which means, in first place, give it up for the newbies. Well, not really. Fallow! Actually, you know what? They're from the UK. Let's get some drum and bass going. That was more hard style, but you get it. There's a lot of things I like about this, man. I love the idea of taking a saucy curry and adding it to your biryani to kind of keep it moist, saving some of that gravy and finishing it on top. So even if it is a little dry, it re-moistens itself. I don't think I've ever had a beef biryani before. I would say goat's probably my favorite. This is kind of like another version of red meat, so it kind of reminds me of that, but it's so different. The rice is so different. The flavors, I've never had anything like this infused with the rice before. There's just so much going on here. I think Chef Will did a fantastic job with layering flavors in every step of the way, from the caramelized onion sweetness trick to that super punchy curry paste, right? The different choice of rice kind of makes it so, you know, you get a little deeper in the pot here and you can kind of see some gumminess going on. But here, I mean, everything throughout is just evenly separated perfectly. And with the touch of the MSG at the end, the savoriness is just like on a whole nother level, man. Congratulations to Fallow, you guys are beasts. Speaking of Fallow, be sure to go follow all of these blokes today. They're all extremely talented dudes. I'm sure you probably already do follow them because they're massive, but yeah, great dishes. Each one of these is worth your time, so check it out. I'm leaving links in the description for you. Now is the time. We are going to take each of these biryanis and fuse them together to create the ultimate Franken-biryani. Okay, so obviously I didn't make another biryani from scratch using all the best techniques and ingredients like we usually do for the Franken-biryani, you get it. I'm tired. It's been 2 days and a lot more mentally. However, I do want to share with you probably my favorite condiment for this dish specifically, and lots of Indian food in general. Right, baby? Into a small bowl. We're going in with the curd, aka just plain yogurt. Cilantro, stems and all. Sweet onion soaked in water to kind of chill it out. A green chili, gotta have the heat. A whole bunch of cucumber. Some ground cumin, and some ground chaat masala. This stuff is the best. Just gonna hit it with a pinch of kosher. And it's just like a chunky, cooling, sort of acidic condiment that goes really nice with the biryani. Maybe just a little bit of water there. Thin it out a touch. And as this sits, it'll get more and more delicious. This raita is definitely really good. This, I don't know, everything kind of gets lost in the sauce, literally. Very complex dishes, so how could it be bad, you know? Oh my God, help, help. You know the drill. If you like the video, sub to the channel. If you're new to the channel, if you're not new to the channel, welcome back. Best way to support us is on the grocery fund, aka the Patreon, or adamwitt.store. We have a bunch of awesome shirts for you. If you like hot dogs, you like shirts with hot dogs, we got it, baby. It's a little dirty. Get that for you. I don't think that did anything. If you have a favorite biryani recipe, let us know in the comments below. Also, if you'd have any other ideas for these 3 chef battles, also let me know in the comments below. I'm always trying to listen to you guys and see what you guys want to watch, and you know, we could have some fun with it, so let me know. Come say what's good on Discord if you haven't. We're chilling, we're chatting over there. I do giveaways sometimes. You could even, who knows, man, win yourself one of these. Ooh. That's all I got for you today. So until next we meet. Toodaloo.